holes, and I assume you can't really keep that away from your players, but Dabo says all you guys are is 2-0. Is that just generally the message?
Yeah, I mean, that's all we are. We're 2-0, and you know, we've got off to a good start for, I believe this is 4 years in a row. And so, but that's all it is at this point. You know, it's you know, obviously it's out there for everybody to see and talk about, and makes great conversation piece, I'm sure, at the coffee shop and all that. But that's all it is 2-0. I mean, it's not the first two games we're going to be remembered by. I can promise you that.
Do you think that people get a little spoiled, or even as coaches, and get used to seeing this offense at a certain level? Have you been as crisp as you want?
Well, talking about last week, no, absolutely not. I mean, I didn't think we played with near the energy that we needed to play with, especially with our older guys. I didn't think we were very physical in some positions. No, I didn't think that we didn't come out and perform like we needed to play. I was disappointed in the 4th and 1. I think that kind of set the tempo, kind of set the tone. It kind of gave everybody a bad taste. I know it gave me a bad taste in my mouth. You know, when we weren't able to convert that 4th and 1, I mean, that was unacceptable. But that's okay. It was a great teaching point. It'd be a great teaching tape for those guys. The positive of it was the fact that there was some younger guys that were ready to go, and they were ready to play. And when their time came, they performed, and they did a good job. And so there was a lot of positives out of it, and there was a lot of positives that you know, I'm pretty positive that we're going to be able to really motivate them pretty good this week. So that's a good positive that I've got out of it.
Can you talk about this week a little bit? A bye week, but with that Thursday game coming up, maybe not necessarily an off week.
Yeah, you know, I know this week, you know, not an off week, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday we'll be working out, and you know, be very physical practices. Tuesday will be a very, very challenging practice to them. Wednesday's going to be extremely challenging with them as well, and then getting them ready to go, you know, for next week. But it'll be a great opportunity to get better. We got a long way to go. We obviously got a lot of things we got to work on, as everybody in the country does. But I'm not really worried about everybody in the country. I'm more worried about us and how can we get better. And I think we've got to really hone in on ourselves.
Do you mention at all what happened the last time you guys went to NC State, or is that just the past?
Oh, I mean, I'm sure somebody will bring that up. I mean, it's they'll be reminded. Probably not going to have to remind a lot of them, because they were part of that team that went up there and got embarrassed, and that's what it was. It was an embarrassment. We turned the ball over, and it just started a boat racing. That's what it was, and you know, I was very disappointed in that. But you know, hey, again, that'll be something we'll keep talking about, and these guys will know about it.
Have you found that in the past, at any level, that can be a motivation? That, hey guys, don't forget about what happened. I mean,
well, yeah, you know, all it is a memory. You can't, you know, you can bring it up, you can talk about it, but as far as you know, is that going to be the reason why they go up there and play really hard? I mean, I doubt that. I mean, they're going to go up there and play hard because you know, there's bigger things ahead. There's a big goal we've got set. I mean, you know, we're trying to get better each week, and so, but they'll be reminded of it.
Off what the backup, the second group in the offensive line did, was there enough by any individual that you think maybe we ought to look even closer at this guy, maybe for a starting job, if not more playing time?
Well, did I feel like someone competed well enough to earn a starting job? No, I mean, not yet. Does it warrant maybe a guy getting in and playing a little bit more during the course of a game, or maybe needs to be motivated enough to perform better in a practice role to possibly push somebody for a starting job? Absolutely. And that's what you hope you see out of it, and you hope you see some guys coming out there and Tuesday ready to go and ready to compete, try to push each other. So
can you, I guess, focusing on one thing, that why maybe Taj wasn't as crisp as
Well, I think it's I don't think he ever got in the flow of the game. I think every ball that he was looking to throw, he was looking to make the big ball. He was ready, trying to make the whether it's the long throw or the hard throw or the deep throw or whatever you want to call it, and he wasn't taking what they gave him. And some underneath stuff, some check downs. I mean, those are things that were wide open. That if we hit a couple of those, then the other things open up. And so I think that started, never could get in a groove, never could get in a rhythm, and I think they had a lot to do with it.
Young players when you watched the film that caught your eye, some of the guys that maybe got some more play time than they had the past couple of weeks?
Well, G-Hop, Jerome Hopper obviously had 3 touchdowns, had a few MAs that he's got to improve on, but he played physical, and that was really good to see. And I'll make a point to that when we meet with him today is to show some of his physical blocking. I mean, we're leaving so many yards and opportunities for big plays out there on the field because we're not blocking and we're not being physical enough on the outside. And he came in and he gave us some physicalness, and that was good to see. So I was excited about watching him, and we're going to watch his physical blocking as a team today.
You ever seen Cole Stout be that sharp before practice, scrimmage, of any kind?
Cole is determined. He's focused, and really the one incompletion that he had was his fault. He kind of overthrew the guy, and the guy was wide open. But man, he's had a really good spring. Kind of dialed back in and came into fall camp and has looked polished. He's just consistent. He operates the system. He operates within the system, and it just takes what's there, and that's what you have to do. And because of that, that's what you saw. A kid go 19 of 20. That was pretty good, and I was excited to see that for him.
How much will you consider Cole's play right now next year when it's him and Chad and whoever else?
Oh, that's a long way off. It's all I can say right now is what Cole got some valuable reps, Chad got some valuable reps, and that's all it is. You're just trying to gain experience right now with those guys and give them an opportunity to get reps when they can.
Is it too presumptuous to think that Davidson has increased his value and could be immediately helpful if, say, Rod isn't ready to go?
Well, I think CJ, obviously, we know what CJ can do with the ball in his hands. I think we all saw that Saturday. We've seen that during fall camp. The thing that CJ's got to really build on, obviously being his first season of football, essentially, since high school, is knowing what to do when the ball is not in his hands and being able to step up and pass protect. And you can't have an MA, a missed assignment by a running back in pass protection, because if you do, then you'll find that number 10 is laying on the ground, and we can't have that. So he's got to work at getting better of the overall knowledge of the offense, but has definitely showed some things the other night in a game setting that we feel like he's capable of doing and being able to help us out as the season progresses.
Is there any surprise to how physical he can play for a guy that's not real big?
Yeah, I mean, once he understands and what he's doing, and not just going out there and just thinking every play's got to be, we've got to hand him the ball because that's the only thing he knows to do. I mean, once he can understand the pass protections, the movements, the different, when we flip a protection or whatever that happens during the course of a game, and it's all happening really fast, and he's got to be able to process that. He can't miss those things, and that's the only thing I would say that's really limiting him in being a guy that could come in and play on a consistent level right now. But again, it's our job as coaches, and we'll keep getting better, and it'll come with time. But
some of the second string offensive lines play might warrant them some more playing time. Who specifically stood out?
Well, I mean, when I say warrant more playing time, I'm talking about being able to create some depth, push for some opportunities. Obviously, Isaiah Battle. I thought Isaiah played extremely physical. He's a guy that's that's gaining confidence. Still got a long way to go. That's what we'd like to have, and he's taking steps in the right direction. Kaylon Davis was a guy that stepped in the other night and played for Tyler Shatley, and did a really good job. Probably one of our more sound performances of our offensive line group. So excited to see him. He gives us some depth in there. Patrick DiStefano got some playing time in there, did some good things. There were, Jay Guillermo's another one that got in and got some playing time. So again, it was a great day to get guys plenty of reps, and to try to gain some confidence and to be able to possibly use them through the course of the season if needed.
Because the starters got a good portion of Saturday off, it's going to be 2.5 weeks in between the Georgia game and NC State. Do you see them benefiting from the rest, but also trying to make sure that they have that rhythm when the game starts en route?
It's kind of a double-edged sword right there. I mean, it was good to get them some rest. It was good to get some reps early. I didn't think we got any flow. Didn't think that the first group got any continuity, and so so that would be a concern coming into next Thursday night. We've got to do a really good job this week of really straining them pretty hard and coaching them extremely hard, which we will over the next few days. They'll be ready though.
Sorry, you talked about Taj wanting to hit the big ball. Is that maybe part of the problem with Rob McDowell too? Instead of taking what was there, trying to bounce out and hit the big play.
I think so. I mean, I don't think his focus was there either. I don't think it was. I don't think he had good focus as far as when to know the situation of the game, whether it's third and short and you catch a pass and instead of going and getting it, you try to dance and now we're left with fourth and short, or if it's fourth and short, going up and diving it in there, bombing it up in there, getting the first down instead of trying to shake and not convert a fourth down. So yeah, those are some things that, again, you've got to be, nobody we have is good enough to not focus in and think about football on a consistent basis. We don't have that. They don't have that on Sundays either. Those guys have to think about football, and you got to think about your performance on a daily basis. And that, to me, that was what was probably disappointing. Anything is our older guys didn't perform at the level they should have performed. Period. I thought they stunk in some cases. And you know what? That's okay, because some younger guys were ready but they were focused in but it'll be good. It'll be real good for that. So yes.
Anything else for Coach?
Anybody? Wow, that's it, huh? All right.
I do have one question
Okay.
for you. And it just comes down to there's so many playmakers.
Mm-hmm.